Everybody, it's time for Ghost and Crendor!
Ghost and Crendor in the morning.
In the morning! Broadcasting live! Before our recording studio audience. Recording! Wake your ass up! It's up next Crendor in the morning! Hello! It's the new year!
Happy New Year! Where the fiscal cliff has done something.
I think it was averted. Although I'm not sure that it was. They agreed to not go over the cliff, yet I think we did.
Oh.
I don't know how... Look, I don't know how government works. I assume something happened.
They were just like, you know what? What if we just don't have it?
That sounds like a really good idea. Good work, Mr. President. You saved the day.
That's how you do it.
That is how government works. Then they all shake each other's hands and
Then
walk
they go
out.
on vacation.
Oh, government. You are a mockery.
Silly government.
I was going to sing a New Year's song, but you ruined it.
Oh, you can sing it now.
I don't remember the lyrics. It was going to be good.
Dun, dun,
It was to be
dun,
like, New
dun,
Year's
dun.
is a time for life or something.
It's a time for life.
It's a time for life.
And that's
So,
life.
any New Year's resolutions?
I thought we'd be dead from the Mayan robots, so I
Uh-huh.
did not make any resolutions.
Oh, that is a shame. So you have, well, make one now. Make a New Year's resolution right now. It's something that has to be important enough for you not to stick to 3 months down the road.
Oh, that's a good point. I plan to create high quality content.
Good. You cannot stick to that. I think you won't.
I always tell people that because of my editing style, which is like a really bad editing style, like people are like, wow, I love your style. I'm like, really? It's just because one day I was like, I really like writing WoW videos and stuff, but I don't really like editing, so I'm just gonna do what I want. And I just like crappily like throw things together, like, oh, the green screen kind of looks good. And then people are like, wow, this style's amazing. Then if I try to do anything better, they're like, why are you changing your style? I'm like, I guess I'll just keep doing what I do.
So avant-garde.
It's truly magnificent the way his style just radiates from the painting.
It's like people who look at art but have no idea what they're looking at.
It's like, listen, I was just kind of lazy and just threw it together.
So what? This year, my resolution this year is to. I gave this advice on Tumblr, but I'll do it again. I'm just gonna better myself. I'm gonna become a Superman. Is what I'm gonna become.
Mm-hmm.
But this time next year, I will be an Uberman. Some sort of man / demigod, and just, world, brace yourself. I'm not saying I'll rule you with the Mayan robots, but I will.
The Mayan robots have a thing for artistic people.
Right? The Mayans are all about art and Ubermen.
Mm-hmm. Ubermen.
Ubermen. Oh, God.
But I was also listening to Coast to Coast AM where they were making their predictions.
Yes, I heard some of that. I actually listened last night as well. Apparently they did 2 nights of it.
Ooh.
And because there's so many predictions. So for those of you who didn't listen yesterday, we were going to listen to Coast to Coast AM's crazy 2013 predictions. Did you hear any good ones?
Well, I heard one lady say the bees are coming back.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, she talked about how the bees have gone away, and without bees, life is not possible.
I understand that, but when you say the bees are coming back, that sounds like a warning.
But she was like, but since the bees are coming back, I'm allergic to bees, so I gotta have my Benadryl ready. And that was like her big thing.
Oh, okay.
Then there was the lady who said, we will know the nature of God in 2013 because of the growing amounts of library books on quantum physics, which will create harmony.
Libraries. Libraries and God, they are connected. I've always said that.
Yep. Then there was this crazy lady that called in. He was like, hey, how you doing? And she's like, George, I'm telling you, the forests are gonna emit radioactive waves that send the calls to the other forests that will raise up the ceilings of the sky that will send back down the radioactive waves underground where the forest will rise up.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, like that's true. That's very true. And he's like, next caller. That's so amazing.
Oh my god.
There was also this guy who was like, Nezra will be announced. And he was like, what's Nezra? And he said, the American people are heirs to the 148,000 estates and will get millions from trust funds that people have left money for.
What the hell does that mean, Nezra?
He said it's Nesara, Nezra. And apparently...
Nesara?
Yeah, he says the American people
I'm looking this up right now.
We are heirs to estates that will give us millions of dollars.
Nesara.
Yes.
Nasara?
I guess so.
The National Economic Stabilization and Recovery Act?
I don't know. But then he's like, well, who knows about this? He's like, the government does, but they don't tell you. That they're forced to not tell you until 2013.
Here you go. Immediately, when you type in Nezra, the first things that come up are Nezra Ron Paul, Nezra Conspiracy Theory, Nezra Scam, or Nezra 2013.
Well, there you go.
Yep, that explains everything you need to know. Oh, no. So, the White House has a petition. Holy shit. I've clicked a link that I don't know what is going on here.
It's like the government gonna come find you now.
It's something called the Galactic Federation of Light Messages from Our Space Family 2012, A New Beginning. And it says here, the Galactic Federation of Light is having a Nezra victory party for the Saint Germain World Trust Fund. Thank you for occupying Wall Street to raise your voices for freedom. Okay, this is what it does. All right, now I've figured, okay, oh my god, it does a lot. All right. Forgives all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt instantly. What? I should take out take out every loan right now. Abolishes income tax, abolishes the IRS, creates 14% flat. Oh, this isn't a real thing. Stop it. Damn it, crazy people, you suck. For a minute, I almost believed something existed until I started reading it.
There's a great quote. I almost believed something existed until I started reading it.
That works for a lot, actually. Yeah.
Pretty much all aspects of life.
All aspects of life. Like, I started believing it, and then I started reading about it. I was like, nope.
That's a great quote for the tombstone. Great quote.
Oh my god, that's awesome. I heard a few yesterday. In May of this year, there's going to be a huge earthquake. And the guy who said it, the host, Ian Punnett, last night goes, didn't you call last year and say there's going to be an earthquake in May? And the guy's like, there's got to be an earthquake some May.
Well, he's got good logic.
Yeah, eventually he will be right. And then he can say, I predicted an earthquake. There was also talk about a lot of end of the world talk. Apparently that didn't happen. Robots would gain artificial intelligence. That didn't happen. There's so many good ones. Like, it was just crazy people like, the aliens are going to reveal themselves to be angels. Like, what? Is it not good enough that they're aliens? They have to be angels too?
That's like if we said the Mayan robots would transform into, like, Transformers.
The Mayan robots also transform into Cadillacs. Like, that's an unnecessary thing.
And then they cruise around in the Cadillacs.
Da-da-da-da-da! They just drive down the road. Oh, my God. Yeah, so I was ecstatic about that. I love the prediction show. I'm sure there's got to be...
There was one guy who called in and said there's strange red-orange fireballs from Alabama, Florida, and Idaho, and if you see them, you should sit down and write a written report and send it to them, and someone saw 13 at once.
Okay.
That's what he said.
I love that. I love that. That's a thing. Like I saw fireballs. Did you? Like, what were those states again?
Alabama, Florida, and Idaho.
None of those places have large usages of crystal meth, so I can trust the reports coming from there. I apologize if you're from any of those, but come on, Florida is Florida.
It's Florida.
And Alabama is no better, and Idaho, no one lives there.
Florida is just NASCAR and, like, alligator hunting.
And I feel bad for judging Florida, but people in Florida, just like when I make fun of Detroit, the people who live in Detroit know exactly what I'm talking about. Florida, you know you're bad when per capita, this is a true fact, last year, 2012, there are more cases of public masturbation in Florida than anywhere else in the United States combined.
Well,
there you go. I mean, that says it all about Florida. Like, look, I can't wait to get home. I gotta do this right now. And I'm gonna spoil it for you. They probably aren't women. So just, you know, that.
Florida. Come visit our state. I'll do your advertisements, Florida.
It's just a bunch of dudes beating off. It's a cheeseburger in paradise. Cheeseburger in paradise. Oh my god. Oh shit, that's funny. Jeez. Just a bunch of dudes on a beach beating it, and it's cheeseburger in paradise. Can't breathe. Oh my god.
Well,
Happy New Year!
We started off the new year on a great note.
Holy crap, that was amazing. That is the best single thing I've ever thought up in my entire life. If that isn't an ad for Florida, you are missing out.
Now it drives so much traffic to Florida.
And it could pan through like various Florida celebrities. And like the last one's Mickey Mouse. Just beating it.
Yeah. That's what Florida's all about.
Florida's all about. And then there's just a dude in the background tweaking on meth. No, eating someone because he's a zombie because of bath salts.
Watching NASCAR.
Watching NASCAR. He's eating a man watching. He's just watching NASCAR. No, the man's watching NASCAR and being eaten, but he doesn't care because he's watching NASCAR.
Exactly.
He's okay. He's like, just make it slow so I can finish this race. Damn. All right. Well, then I guess it's time to go to Crendor in the Sky in Chapter 7. Crendor, how's that traffic out there on this brand new year?
It's a new year! Replacement guy.
Great.
Because it's New Year's. I don't want to work on New Year's.
He wasn't even using the helicopter. He was floating, apparently.
He was so ecstatic that he just floats.
That's amazing. He's got real talent. He might be a permanent fixture.
He could be, but that would then make his appearances far less fun.
I don't think they were ever fun.
Well, what's your opinion?
Yeah. What's less than 0? Can we go to negative fun?
Whoa.
He sucks the fun away.
Listen,
he's
like failed algebra
he's a fun,
like multiple
He's
times.
a fun vampire. A fun pyre.
A fun
A
pyre?
fun pyre, and he sucks out
That's
the fun.
what baseball should change all their umpires' names
I'm
to
a fun
pyres.
pyre.
Strike one! They all have clown suits on.
Oh, alright, well then what's going on over in the weather?
In weather, we're gonna go on down to Gunnison, Mississippi.
One of the good states.
Yeah.
One of the real American states.
Yeah. They have a lot of rain. 45 degrees with 6-mile-per-hour winds, 95% humidity. It's pretty humid out there. Let's see some local tweets. Boozy Group says, "Be breezy."
Is that a comment on the weather, Or is that like that is amazing? Be breezy. Is he saying to chill out? Like that is some Confucius shit right there.
They said
Be breezy. Like what?
not even B. It's the letter B.
Maybe that's his rap name. Be breezy, dude.
I mean, their name is Boozy Group. Oh wait, Group E? Boozy Group E? It is a somewhat large black woman. And so they say, I'm a boozy groupie, MVSU alumni, BSW grad student.
Wait, whoa. This is a grad student?
This is a hashtag grad student. And I do me. Hashtag that's all. Nunya.
Business, fool. Be breezy. Be breezy, everybody. Be breezy. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mississippi. You've done it again.
That's the only tweet they have, by the way.
That's the only weather-related treat. Be breezy. Did I say it's a weather-related treat? It is. It is a weather-related treat.
It was a treat.
Well, that was a treat, yes. All right, then what about sports? We're approaching the countdown to the Super Bowl. How many weeks? The February 3rd or something like that?
Well, the playoffs haven't started yet.
What's
We
the
just talked
countdown
about
to the
how
Super Bowl?
playoffs-
Because we're counting down to it.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not counting
The
down.
road,
But I'm just
the
wanting to watch
pathway.
Packer games. I just want the Packers to keep winning so I can keep watching them.
Well, what if they lose? What will you do?
Well, then I'll be disappointed.
Will you be as disappointed
Because
if...
Greg Jennings will have failed me, and he'll probably go to free agency and go to other teams to carry him on their back.
There's got to be a horrible team that he will single-handedly win them the Super Bowl.
Well, speaking of horrible teams, here are some coaches that got fired today.
Nice.
Arizona Cardinals fired their coach, Ken Wisenhunt.
Yep.
Buffalo Bills fired their coach, Chan Gailey.
Yep.
Bears fired their coach, Lovie Smith.
No!
Cleveland Brown. Lovie's gone.
Lovey's gone.
Cleveland Browns fired their coach, whoever that is.
Yes.
Kansas City Chiefs.
The coach is also the mascot.
Yeah.
Get out there, fella! Then knock him down!
Kansas City Chiefs fired Romeo Crennel. Eagles fired Andy Reid. And the Chargers fired Norv Turner.
Wow.
So they're all gone because their team sucked.
Yeah, but I guess because they've sucked for so long.
And then the Jets just never used Tebow because they're stupid. They were like, hey, Tim Tebow doesn't practice well. It's like, that's not the point. Everyone knows he sucks. You got to put him in the game because he wins.
Yeah, because
he just does this like super magic.
He has God power.
Like, everybody was just like, oh my god, Tim Tebow's so bad. And then he'd play games and people would be like, whoa, they won. It was just like,
I don't get it.
I
don't get it. But the Jets are dumb.
That's
They're
sports.
inherently stupid. I'm
yeah.
hoping there's some listening because I leave your feedback.
Leave your feedback. We appreciate it.
Okay, then I guess that's it for sports. What is our big news story of 20-3?
5 phrases a traveler should never use. Because everybody's traveling, right? Or getting back from traveling.
Sure. Okay.
Well, I mean, this may have been useful before the holidays.
Well,
but we're going to do it anyway.
You'll travel again. It's good to know this.
Yeah, this is for the future. This is stuff.
Yeah.
Number 1, do you speak English?
That's bad to ask?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Never say that. There are basic foreign language expressions that every international traveler should learn before crossing borders, and this is one of them. Even if you're light years away from fluency, a rudimentary grasp of simple phrases in the regional tongue like please, hello, thank you, no thank you, and where is the bathroom will work wonders. Add to this list, do you speak English? To be stated in the applicable language. It's a show of respect, and the locals will likely be more responsive and helpful to anyone who doesn't behave as if all citizens of the world ought to speak his or her native language.
But they should. You should speak English.
I mean, all countries pretty much do speak English, except for...
And the ones that don't,
like,
they aren't trying. China.
Yeah. Yeah, China.
Yeah, China. Why don't you get to work on making an English sweatshop? I don't know how that would work.
Quote for the tombstone. Why don't you get to work on making an English sweatshop, China? What would that even consist of?
I assume a bunch of like poorly paid Chinese making English.
Making English.
Look, it's.
They're like working in the factory, and the factory's just like shooting out letters.
They'll learn something.
They form words. But do they know English?
I think they know Mandarin or whatever. There's different dialects, and that's too confusing.
Number 2. Do you have change for a 20? This phrase shouldn't be spoken to your bellman, tour guide, airport shuttle driver, hotel housekeeper, or any other service person not stationed behind a cash register. Travel and tipping go together like Lewis and Clark. Thus, road warriors should make a point of obtaining small bills in the local currency at the beginning of every trip. Don't put your service person in the position of awkwardly fumbling through his or her wallet in order to receive due recompense.
Why would you give them a compass? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Especially a ring compass. That's just
maybe they're lost.
LOL. That's a good tip. I always feel bad if I don't have like change to give someone, and I feel even worse if someone gives me like because I'm not going to. I know a lot of people like when you go to places and you're gonna give them a tip, they give you change in like huge bills. Like you're gonna have to give me that big bill. Like no, I just won't give you a tip. Like if I have to ask you to come back over and be like, can you give me 5 1s instead of a 5? They're like, I still have it. Well then, tough. You did really great, but life's not on your side today. I'm sorry.
What if like somebody's waiting for you to tip them and they're just like, do you have change for a 5? And they're like, oh yeah, and then you like give them $4.
Sometimes I would do that. I feel like I would do that.
Depends on their service.
Yeah, it depends on their service. If they don't give me enough coffee, says old man Crendor.
We went to French toast place. They had good French toast. Guy didn't refill my coffee. He did, but it was after.
After you got mad at him for not refilling your coffee.
After I got mad at him. I was like, hey, I could use some more coffee. And he was like, oh yeah. And then he was on it. Mm-hmm. But until then, he wasn't.
Good story.
I wanted my coffee.
This is why you don't do post New Year's Eve shows. So far we've talked about masturbating Floridians, tipping $4 out of $5, and
Chinese sweatshops that make English. And Mississippi tweets.
Yep, so far so good. We're doing just fine.
I mean, it's not far off from our other shows.
But that was 2012. This is 2003. We need to improve.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like we are. I feel like we're doing better.
We are a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, that guy, he was okay at waitering. He just needs to learn how to refill coffee faster.
Okay.
Get on your game, guy.
Yeah, guy.
Next! Can you help me? I'm lost and I'm staying at name of hotel. Have you seen the movie Taken? It's about a girl who gets kidnapped in Paris after human traffickers have found out where she is staying. Yes, it's Hollywood. But to some degree, art imitates life.
Are you kidding me? Is this guy really like, look, you will get taken?
Apparently. You gotta watch out. Many criminals target unsuspecting travelers, especially in popular tourist destinations, and it's not a smart idea to tell a stranger that you're from out of town or to publicize where you're bunking down for the night. You might not get sold into sex slavery, but you could get robbed, especially if your hotel lacks top-notch security.
What the balls? All right, sure, okay, yeah. That seems like a crazy thing.
It does.
And before that movie, that was never really a big issue for people. Like, you could be a sex slave. Where's
Maybe
all this sex slavery taking place at?
Maybe not if you go to... It's probably if you go to, like, China.
That's why they need to make English.
It is. Next one. I don't want to go there. There aren't any reviews. While we appreciate the power and practicality of user-generated reviews, they have their limits. New establishments, local joints, tiny B&Bs, and less-traveled hideaways often get left off the reviews grid. Developing a dependence on the aggregated opinions of faceless masses will prevent you from discovering anything remotely, well, undiscovered.
God, this person is such a hipster. Like, you want to go to places people have been to before because you know they aren't going to sell you into sex slavery. This person, just one thing ago, is like, be careful, you could become a sex slave. And now it's like, you should definitely travel out into the wilderness in the middle of nowhere and look for things.
That cabin's supposed to have great food.
This little-known restaurant that just popped up that you never heard of before, trust me, you should definitely go off the beaten path to go there. You will not become a sex slave.
I imagine, like, oh my god, we need to make that into a movie. It'll be like, what's that? What's the one with the caterpillar
The Human Centipede?
The Human Centipede. It'll be like that, except we'll just make it about a sweatshop.
That makes English.
Makes English.
You make English.
I see it.
What?
They just reach. They reach this just like big forest, and you gotta like, walk into the forest, and then there's just this one cabin, and they're like, "Whoa, the cabin!" And then they go inside.
No, well, first off, you have to say
the
one guy's like, oh, shouldn't be here. There's no reviews, and the girl's like, that's what makes it exciting, James. And he's like, all right, baby, I'll do it for you. And then they get there, and
they walk inside, and the doors lock. And they're like, why'd the doors lock? And it's like, oh no, it's probably just part of the atmosphere. And then they just walk around, and then the floors just give out, and the Mayan robots come down and take them and drop them into their sweatshop chairs. And there's just like millions of people working in the sweatshop
and
chairs
what are they
making
working
the English.
On? The English.
They're making English.
They're making English.
And then they're just like, how'd you guys get here? And they're just like, we wanted to try something different.
Lesson learned.
That's the entire movie. It just ends there.
It's like a 1950s like instructional tape. Don't try different things. And scene.
Finally.
Oh yeah.
And finally, geez, it's not like I have a bomb.
What?
Airport security can often seem like a joke, especially when young children get pat-downs or Transportation Security Administration agents steal from passengers. But that doesn't mean you should play part of the comedian when going through the metal detector. Travelers have been arrested for making jokes about terrorism in the airport. According to the TSA, belligerence, inappropriate jokes, and threats are not tolerated. Jokes and or comments about threats to passengers and or aircrafts will be taken seriously and can result in criminal or civil penalties for passenger. Be on the safe side and save the jokes for after you've left the airport.
What if you made jokes, but it wasn't about like having a bomb? What if you were like, damn, these churros are the bomb? Or my diarrhea is so explosive. Did you get away with that? Like, you go to the metal detector like, I'm sorry, I have explosive diarrhea. I'm not saying you do that. You will be arrested.
Line at that point. They're gonna be like standing next to you, watching you.
Get out the latex gloves.
It reminds me of high school where like we used to go to the computer lab and people would always go to non-educational things such as their social networking sites or games or whatever. And we'd always had like the admin guy come in and he'd be like, what you doing there? And he'd like just look over your shoulder and people would be like, oh, like I was gonna just go to something school related. And he was like, yeah, that'd be a pretty good idea.
What? How does that remind you of it at all? That's not even remotely similar.
Because he's like trying to give you a little hint, like maybe you shouldn't be doing that. But then sometimes he would just be like, all right, you're gonna have to leave the computer lab now.
That is the stupidest fucking thing.
I'm just reliving my high school days.
Is that it? Are we done?
I think we're done.
All right. That's it for January 1. 20-odd-3 as we're going to call it from now on. And thank you all for tuning in. I may go pass out right now.
Yeah.
And we will see you tomorrow.
Woo!